Number 10. Jonathan Cole. November 10th, 2022, a young Los Angeles woman named Kylie Watts was walking in North Hollywood when a homeless man brutally attacked her. The 24-year-old was minding her own business as she passed 30-year-old Jonathan Cole, but he had more sinister intentions. While Kylie's back was turned to him, Cole jammed sharp gardening shears into the woman's skull. Instantly, the victim was horrified. In a state of shock, she ran to a restaurant near the scene. She begged employees and patrons to help her before falling to the ground. Emergency responders quickly came and rushed Kylie to a hospital where she was able to call her mom. Luckily, she survived the ordeal, but not without a brain injury. It will take a long time to fully recover, and Kylie says she'll probably have difficulty with vision and balance moving forward. Since the assault, Cole has been arrested. He's been charged with both assault with a deadly weapon and attempted murder. It's still unclear what the homeless man's motive was. Number 9. Moose. In August 2022, 41-year-old Jessica Krustic was taking her beloved dog Moose out for a walk in New York City's Prospect Park. It was around 6:30 in the morning when she saw a homeless man digging through a trash can. She said that she often sees the guy walking around the park, talking to himself and holding a big stick. Jessica tried pulling Moose to the side so they could walk right past the man and avoid confrontation, but sadly, that's not what happened. The unnamed vagrant saw the woman and her dog and started spraying the two of them with a bottle of liquid. Later on, Jessica discovered that it was actually urine. Then, the guy began mumbling some strange rant about immigrants and wildly waving a stick around. The pet owner tried running away, but it was no use. The suspect attacked Jessica and Moose by hitting her with the stick and smashing poor Moose's face. Luckily, a witness saw the assault and screamed at the homeless man to go away. 2 other bikers were in the area and helped as well after hearing the commotion. The homeless man was able to get away, and it's not clear if he was ever caught. Tragically, Moose passed away after receiving a perforated intestine from the incident. Jessica thought he was fine at first once they got him checked out at the vet, but after some time, he wasn't acting like himself. On a second inspection, the veterinarian discovered the real issue, which required surgery. Despite their attempts to save him, Moose didn't pull through. He was a good and brave boy until the end. Number 8. Terry Dunford. Sometimes, even when treated with the utmost kindness, people are just heartless and evil. For example, 40-year-old Terry Dunford from Colorado. After going through a difficult time, he found himself homeless. That's when he met 49-year-old Gina Leslie. She had recently moved to Denver all the way from San Antonio, Texas. She wanted to stay close to her children who she split custody with. While looking for a more permanent teaching position, Gina was working in retail and for both Uber and Lyft, just trying to make a living. One of her children, Brittany, said that the woman was incredibly open and made friends with everyone. This is probably why the mother offered to let Terry stay with her temporarily. The decision was ultimately a bad one, since Terry betrayed Gina's kindness. Not only did she take in Terry, she also let another homeless man live in her apartment. On Valentine's Day 2018, Gina was discovered brutally stabbed to death. Her body had been there for a week before she was found. After failing to pick her children up, her ex-husband got worried. He called police to report her missing, and when they went to check her apartment, officers were met with a murder scene. They also found bloody men's clothing and a wallet belonging to Terry. Since then, he's been sentenced to 60 years in prison after pleading guilty to murder and assault. Terry will likely be in prison for the rest of his pitiful life. Number 7. Camp Hope. Spokane, Washington has a problem with their homeless population. While it's a harmful stereotype to label all homeless people as drug addicts, a large majority of them in this city are. Shelters don't accept people who won't abide by their rules, which include not using illegal substances while in their care. This results in many addicted individuals choosing to live on the street instead of getting the help they desperately need. With large groups of homeless people, they tend to stick together, forming small communities like Camp Hope. The homeless camp has a sour reputation in locals' eyes for being violent, dirty, and full of addicts. Recently on March 17, 2023, early one morning chaos broke out. Police officers were called to the scene and saw a tent bursting into flames while some propane tanks nearby also exploded. 2 people were inside the tent when the eruption happened. Each of them were taken to the hospital, with one needing treatment for severe burns. After a brief investigation from the fire department, it was determined that the explosion was an accident. The injured individuals were trying to fill up a propane tank and happened to be too close to their heater. Even with such a bad reputation, we can't help but be optimistic for the people at Camp Hope. Whether you live in a mansion or on the street, everyone is still a person capable of remarkable things. Not everyone is born with the same circumstances, so you should always remember not to judge others. Number 6. Terry Crumweed. When it starts getting towards the end of the year, no one likes to be stuck outside in the cold. For many homeless people though, there isn't another option. 31-year-old Terry Crumweed from Michigan was sentenced to 10 years in prison after his arrest in December 2022. The man was doing everything he could to stay warm, which included stealing. On the 13th of November that year, Terry broke into a garage and stole some clothes to bundle up with. Unfortunately, he also had meth on him when police took him into custody. Since this was his second offense, Terry's punishment was more severe. When the COVID-19 pandemic first started, he was let go from his job as a kitchen manager. This eventually led to him losing his home and being forced to live on the streets. With such difficult hardship, Terry couldn't cope and turned to drugs. His public defender, Terry Norris, says the homeless man is a good person who does well for himself, until his acquaintances come around with substances. Norris wanted Terry to be sent to a drug treatment program, but the court thought otherwise. Do you agree with the court's decision? Let us know in the comments down below. If you like the video so far, be sure to subscribe to the channel and join the Badger family. Number 5. Kendrick Hamlin. Political tension has been an ongoing issue in the United States, and it doesn't seem like it'll go away anytime soon. But then again, politics have never been easy. In February 2023, a Democratic representative from Minnesota was assaulted in her apartment building. While on an elevator, Representative Angie Craig was punched square in the chin by a 26-year-old homeless man named Kendrick Hamlin. Kendrick was apparently acting very strangely in the DC building's lobby. Once inside the lift with Craig, the man reportedly did a few push-ups, ramping himself up before the attack. After the first hit, he grabbed the woman's neck. Kendrick demanded that she let him inside her apartment. The representative might have gotten hurt even worse if she hadn't defended herself using some piping hot coffee. When news of the incident first broke, people were quick to say it was politically motivated, but police say otherwise. Kendrick has a lengthy history with law enforcement and criminal charges. He's since been indicted for the assault on the Congresswoman, and his next court date is set for April 5th. Number 4. Matthew Baxter. When you don't have a place to call your own, you have to get creative and resourceful. Many homeless people take advantage of public facilities, just like 34-year-old Matthew Baxter. But Matthew got a little too comfortable. In January 2023, the homeless man was arrested after touching himself sexually in the bathroom of a store in New York. While inside a family restroom, Matthew was doing something downright disgusting. Reports from law enforcement say that about 12 different people walked in on the man while he was getting down and dirty. Several of them knocked before entering, but Matthew didn't lock the door or say he was inside. Eventually, a poor employee at the store had to confront him,